Hello and welcome to the 9 p.m. daily quiz. I hope all of you are doing good. I welcome you all to this session where we discuss the most important news stories for the day from the prelims examination point of view by converting them into prelims specific questions and then discussing them here. If you're new here, please do hit the subscribe button. I would highly appreciate that and share it with your other friends as well who are preparing for the UPSC or other state PCS examinations. I also have my own app on the Android Play Store that is called Harshmeet Study Circle. You can download that from the link in the description of the video, where you can check out my other courses, including PSIR, answer writing, PSIR live optional classes, personal mentorship program for prelims, mains, answer writing, and much, much more. If you have any question about any of the programs, if you need any help, I am giving you my number for WhatsApp and my email ID again in the description of the video. Do get in touch for that as well. Let's begin with the first question. Consider the following statements with regards to mission Mausam. Number one, the mission is by or run by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Rather, the mission is run by. Second, the mission focuses on providing accurate and timely weather and climate information, including monsoon forecast, weather, air quality updates, extreme weather event warnings, and cyclone tracking. Third, it also focuses on solutions for managing fog, hail, rain, and other weather conditions to mitigate their impacts. How many of these given statements are correct? Mission Mausam has been in the news because the government wants to expand its capacity to make it even more accurate in terms of predictions. In that aspect, these statements are important. First is wrong. It is not the Ministry of Environment, Forest, and Climate Change. Then, which is the correct ministry? That is something that you have to tell me in the comment section. If not this, then which is the ministry that runs Mission Mausam? Second and third are correct. It gives air quality alerts, extreme weather event warnings, monsoon forecasts, and much more. Third is also wrong. It focuses on solutions for managing fog, rain, and other weather conditions. The answer, thus, in this case, is B. That is, only two of these here are correct. There's an article in the Indian Express newspaper today under Mission Mausam. Need-based enhanced rain radar cover will be enabled by 2026. Next, question number 2. Consider the following statements with regards to Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana health cover. Number 1. It will cover all Indians above 70 years irrespective of their income. Second, there will be no exclusion but a waiting period of 6 months for the pre-existing conditions. Third, beneficiaries will be able to utilize their policy as soon as they complete their eKYC. How many of these are correct? Now, this is one of the most interesting and helpful initiatives that the government has launched in terms of providing social security. Ayushman Bharat Yojana anyways was a great success. Now they are increasing this cover to those people who are above the age of 70 as well. Now, whenever you buy a health insurance policy, one of the problems is that there is something called a waiting period for existing diseases. Means today, if you have a disease already and you buy a insurance policy, they will not cover it today. They'll ask you to wait for some time, and only after some time they will cover this. Those are called pre-existing conditions. With this scheme, the great part is there is no waiting period for pre-existing conditions. Pre-existing conditions can also be covered from the very first day onwards. That is why second is wrong. First and third are correct. It covers those 70 and older irrespective of their income, and beneficiaries can utilize their policy as soon as they do their eKYC. So the answer here is B. Only two of these here are correct. Two of these given statements here are absolutely correct. This is the health cover for the elderly. Third, consider the following statements with regards to the great Stupa of Sanchi. First, it was commissioned in the 3rd century BCE by Emperor Ashok. Second, its construction was overseen by Ashoka's cousin brother who hailed from nearby trading town of Vidisha. Third, the 4 torrents oriented to the 4 cardinal directions were constructed in the 1st century BCE, likely within a few decades of each other during the reign of Satvahana dynasty. How many of these given statements here are correct? Now, Sanchi Stupa is something that you read about quite a lot in art and culture. About Ashok also, you read about it in ancient history. First is correct. He was the one who commissioned the construction of the Sanchi Stupa. Second is wrong. The construction was overseen by Ashoka's wife, actually, named Devi. She hailed from the trading town of Vidisha. So, second is wrong. Third is also correct. It is the original construction was pretty plain. It was only later on when other elements were added, such as the fourth Torus, that it became such a big attraction. The answer thus is B. Two of these given statements here are absolutely correct. This is the article in the Indian Express newspaper. Do read it. From Ashokan times to now Sanchi to Europe, the story of the great Stupa. This is in the news because our external affairs minister stopped by the replica of the east gate of Sanchi Stupa, that is in front of the Humboldt Forum Museum in Berlin, Germany. Next, question number 4. Consider the following statements with regards to Standing Committee on Statistics. As you know, the Government of India recently decided to remove the Standing Committee on Statistics and replace it with the Steering Committee. With that in mind, this question is important. Number 1. This committee advised the center on survey methodology, including sampling frames, sampling design, survey instruments, questions, etc. Second, the 17-member committee also played a vital role in finalizing the tabulation plan of surveys, reviewing the extant framework, and addressing the issues raised from time to time on the subjects, results, methodology, etc. related to all surveys. Third, it has now been replaced by the steering committee with 14 members. How many of these are correct? Now, as you know, the Government of India has greatly delayed the census that was supposed to be held in 2021. There is still no news about when the census will be held. With that in mind, there was this issue that this committee maybe was putting pressure on the government to conduct census, and the news is that that pressure may have led to removal or dissolution of this committee. Anyways, let's not go into the politics of it. First is correct. Second is wrong. The standing committee had 14 members and not 17. It has been replaced by the steering committee that has 17 members. So original committee had 14 members only. It has been replaced by the steering committee. That steering committee has 17 members. So the correct answer here is A. Out of the 3 given statements, only one of these is correct. Here's the article in the Hindu newspaper, a detailed article. What does dissolution of this committee entail? Do read this. It's an important ongoing issue. Next is question number 5. Consider the following statements with regards to Commission for Scientific and Technical Terminology. Number 1. It was established in 1961 to focus on preparing standardized scientific and technical terminology in Indian languages. Second, it publishes quarterly journals named Vigyan Garima Sindhu and Gyan Garima Sindhu. Third, the CSCT, that is Commission for Scientific and Technical Terminology, has a glossary research website Shabd hosted at shabd.education.gov.in. How many of these are correct? Now, as you know, technical education in vernacular language has always been a challenge because there is no proper accurate translation of a lot of technical terms that are usually used in English. For that, Government of India back in 1961 had established this Commission for Scientific and Technical Terminology. First is correct. Their focus is to prepare standardized technical and scientific terminology in Indian languages. For that, they have their quarterly journals, Vigyan Garima Sindhu and Gyan Garima Sindhu, and third is also correct. They have their online depository of terminologies as well, where you can search certain terms and you can search for translation of them, of those terms in the Indian languages. The correct answer thus is C. All the 3 given statements here are absolutely correct. This is the article in the Hindu newspaper. What role does CSCT play in standardizing technical terms? It is a part of the National Education Policy's push to ensure that we have enough courses available in local languages also for someone who's attempting to pursue technical education. To end the day, once again, I have an important infographic for you. The government initiatives in the field of services and manufacturing. What government is trying to do to give a push to MSMEs. These are some of the important initiatives of the government introduced in this year's budget. Increasing the limit on Mudra loans, Also making sure that they make it easier for these companies to register for taxation purposes and get other help from the government. This was our session for the day. If you're new here, do hit the like and the subscribe button. I would highly appreciate that. And invite your other friends as well on this platform to take part in this quiz. Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead. Bye bye. Jai Hind.